When you think about AI, what pops into your head? Is it lines of code, maybe some complex algorithms, or even robots? Well, what if I told you the entire AI revolution is really just a massive, incredibly power-hungry physical factory? Let's take a look inside.
Okay, first things first, let's talk about the stakes here. According to McKinsey, generative AI could pump up to $4.4 trillion into the global economy. And that's not a one-time thing, that's annually. I mean, that is just a staggering number, and it really explains why everyone is in such a massive hurry. And yeah, that pressure has kicked off what is basically a modern-day gold rush. It's not a question of if a business should get into AI anymore, it's about how fast they can do it to get that edge. The race is on, and believe me, nobody wants to get left in the dust.
But here's the thing. With everyone so focused on this digital gold, we're all kind of overlooking the picks and shovels. There's a huge physical barrier that could bring this whole revolution to a screeching halt. And that's what we're going to dig into today.
So this gold rush, it's all happening right in the middle of an even bigger shift, this data-driven digital transformation that's completely reshaping our world and our economy. And just to put this into perspective, the value of this whole transformation is estimated at $100 trillion. AI is not only a tool for navigating this new data-heavy world, it's also a massive accelerator, just pouring gasoline on the fire and driving us to create even more data. All right, to really get a handle on the physical challenge, we first have to understand how AI is actually made. And honestly, the best way to think about it is like a factory assembly line. It has three very distinct stages. So let's break down this assembly line. It has three key steps: data aggregation, training, and then inference. Just think of it as the secret recipe for every single AI you've ever interacted with. From the predictive text on your phone to those crazy AI art generators, they all follow these same basic steps. It all starts right here with the raw materials. Data aggregation is where you gather, clean up, and organize all the information the AI is going to learn from. This stage, it is absolutely critical. Because that old computer science saying, it has never been more true. If you feed your AI model junk data, you're going to get a junk AI. Simple as that. The final product is only ever as good as the stuff you start with. Next up on the line is the training phase. Now, this is the heavy lifting. The model just crunches through these enormous data sets, learning all the patterns and relationships. It is so computationally intense, it's like sending an apprentice to school for 1,000,000 years, but crammed into just a few weeks. And finally, we get to inference. This is where our trained model graduates and gets a job, right? It's put out into the real world to make predictions and decisions on new live data. This is the part where the AI actually delivers all its value. So we've got this powerful three-step workflow. Sounds great. But here's the problem. This slick digital assembly line is slamming right into the hard limits of the physical world. The factory is starting to break down. So what's so fascinating about this slide is just the sheer scale of the change we're talking about. A typical data center rack, it uses about 5 to 8 kilowatts of power. Think of it like a big industrial refrigerator. But an AI rack, packed with thousands of super power-hungry processors, it can demand over 100 kilowatts. That's not a refrigerator anymore, that's a locomotive. And you can't just plug a locomotive into a regular wall outlet. So what do you think happens when you try to run a locomotive-sized workload in a building that was designed for refrigerators? Well, you run into some pretty serious problems. This collision creates a perfect storm of challenges for anyone trying to build AI. You've got data quality issues, you've got hardware shortages, and then that sinking feeling when you realize your current infrastructure just isn't built for this. And the result? Costs that go through the roof and operational nightmares that can kill an AI project before it even gets off the ground. And this image just illustrates the problem perfectly. Our existing data centers, the very foundation of our digital world, they were never designed for this kind of thing. They can't handle the raw power, they can't handle the insane amount of heat these chips kick out, which means you need totally new cooling solutions. And they just can't handle the sheer density of computing that AI needs. So here's the crucial point. We can't just tweak the old factories. We need to design and build entirely new ones, from the ground up, specifically for what AI needs. We're talking about rethinking everything, from how power gets distributed, to high-speed networking, to advanced cooling systems that can handle all that intense heat. To really understand how we got here, it helps to look at how AI has evolved. This problem didn't just pop up overnight. The journey really started with machine learning way back in the 50s. Then it accelerated with deep learning in the 2010s, and now with generative AI, it's just hit this crazy exponential curve. Each step on this timeline has put more and more strain on our physical world.
And this is why solving this infrastructure problem is such a massive priority. We're not talking about small potatoes here. For industries like retail, healthcare, and finance, we're talking about hundreds of billions of dollars in potential value. The motivation to build the right kind of factory is absolutely enormous. But look, building the AI factory of the future isn't just about raw power. It's about being smart and sustainable. This massive energy consumption, it's a huge challenge, for sure. But it's also an opportunity to build a new generation of infrastructure that's actually powered by renewable energy and designed to minimize its impact. It's really about building better, not just bigger. So, what's the big takeaway from all of this? Well, it's that for all our talk about a digital revolution, the future of AI is surprisingly and fundamentally physical. We've learned that winning in this new era, it's not just about writing the cleverest code or having the biggest data set. Turns out, that's only half the battle. The real lasting advantage is going to go to the people who can master the physical world, building and operating the next generation of infrastructure that's needed to power this whole revolution at scale. So I'll just leave you with this thought. As AI weaves itself into every single part of our lives, are we going to look back and realize that the hardest problem to solve wasn't the software at all, but the physical foundation it all stood on? The code or the concrete?